Namaste. Good evening.
Good
Welcome to
evening.
another interesting session of Turiya Talks. Today we have got two stalwarts, Mr. Shantanu Sanyal and Mr. Subir Ghosh. Welcome to Turiya Talks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We all say that knowledge can be communicated, but not wisdom. But we have got two wise souls. They would be talking about mass communication in the real world because they practiced it for decades and decades. We will hear from them only what was their experience. So I would like to ask Ghosh sir and Sanyal sir that if we can know a bit about their journey as a mass communication and journalism faculties in a renowned college in Calcutta, we will like to know about their journey first, and then definitely we will introduce our guest to the viewers. Over to you all, please.
Can I start now? Can I, Shubhida, can I
Yes.
start or you should? Shubhida?
Well, I'm not very sure about the wisdom part that you have spoken of, but all that I can tell you that we certainly can share our ideas with the audience or those who may be interested in this program, including you.
So, Shonda, can
Right.
This
I
is a
start?
sharing of our
Shubhida?
Yes.
thoughts, not that something we are going to discover or something we are going to manufacture.
Right, sir.
Something that we have, as we have moved in the profession, as we have seen the world around us, whatever we have seen, we can share with the people.
Right, sir.
Uh, Shubhida, shall I start?
Of course, why not?
Okay. You know,
Who holds you back?
when we joined the profession many years ago, there was no such thing as media. There was only press. And press means only printing press, and that too only newspaper, daily newspapers. Magazines journalism had not taken off till then. And so by press, generally we meant it was newspapers and daily newspapers. And about the electronic news media, there was only All India Radio. And till 1975, there was no Doordarshan in Calcutta. So when we started in the early 70s, so there was media. What is meant by media today? It was only newspaper, daily newspapers, and All India Radio. And All India Radio, being a government-controlled agency, did not merit the status of free media. Okay, because free media or free journalism was was controlled by the private sector, and with some sort of commitment to the freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Now, in the past, say 3 decades or so, Shubhida, correct me if I'm wrong, there has been a revolutionary change, vast change. Now, in place of press, now we have media. And if you look at the media, there are two segments. One is print, another is electronic. In the print, we have dailies and magazines. Within dailies, we have vernacular dailies and English language dailies. In the magazines also, we have vernacular magazine, English language magazine. Again, within English language dailies, we have general dailies like Times of India, Statesman, and all that. And we have financial dailies like Economic Times and Hindu Business Line. Similarly, in magazines also, we have general magazines like Outlook and India Today, and there are financial magazines like Business Today, Business India, all that. And in vernacular newspapers and magazines, I don't think there is such division between non-financial and non-financial. Then if you look at the electronic media, now there is radio, TV, and the new thing has come, which is the internet. Now in the radio, earlier we had only All India Radio. Now we have All India Radio and FM channels. In Doordarshan, we have Doordarshan. In TV, we have Doordarshan and private satellite channels. And in the internet, it has revolutionized the whole thing. There is web journalism, and there is internet magazines, and capping it all, there is social media like WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. Every other day, new things are coming, and these social media is absolutely free. Is not subject to amenable to any control anywhere. So point is the whole media scene in the past few years, what we saw ourselves, has totally changed. And the most important point for the communicator, for the communication point of view is there. Each requirement of the each segment is very different. What is important in a Hindi daily is not important in Economic Times. Okay. And what is important in a magazine is not important in a daily.
Right.
And also look at the electronic media. In TV and in-depth reporting is 1 minute. In it is radio, it is even less. But it is not so in the print media. So, so point is that each segment has got its own peculiarities, own requirement. The biggest challenge before the communicator is that how to understand this complex scenario and how to cater to their requirements effectively. I think Shubhita will throw more light on it.
Over to sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Well, I entirely agree with my colleague and also close associate for several years, Mr. Santanu Sannal, when he made this point that things are different, particularly at the time when he joined the profession. Now, just to give a point of reference, I would tell you in 1967, when I joined journalism, and when you think of today's journalism in course of say the last 50 years, when you look back, it seems that 1967 we were in the medieval age. It was a calm and placid world. Excitement compared to the sense in which you use the word excitement in today's journalism was entirely absent, and it was still calm, placid, and to use today's vocabulary, nothing much happening. But suddenly, things started changing after the emergency was lifted. During the emergency, as
Actually,
you know,
the challenges started coming after 1975 with the
that is
deregulation of the
precisely what I
rise
said.
in the oil market. When the oil price, world prices, they formed a cartel and started controlling the price. The ripples were felt all over the world. That was the first. Then, of course, there are political
Yes.
developments in our
In the
country.
70s, two things had happened. One of them is during the emergency, the independent voice of the media was gagged.
Absolutely.
When it was lifted, people had, for the last 2 years or so many things to share. And there was a floodgate of publication, especially in the Indian languages. And that is for the first time that newspapers started reaching the villages. Not only in North India, but in South India as well, in West Bengal as well, all over the country, there was a sudden surge of newspapers. People were hungry for news. They wanted to know about the local politics, they wanted to know about international politics, and what is happening also in Delhi. Now, there was another very important development during this period, post 75 period. Mr. Sannal has made a reference to this, but I would like to remind you that till in 67, there was virtually no financial newspaper available in Calcutta. They were printed in Delhi or Bombay, they came to Calcutta later. 3 newspapers dealing entirely with trade, industry, commerce developed. The world of newspapers also started changing. And as Mr. Sannal has pointed out, in 1975, for the first time, television came to Calcutta. 75 is important from another point of view because not only Calcutta, but at the same time in Lucknow and also in Chennai. And it started spreading out, especially through the medium power or transmitters of low variety. They were spread, they could take the news from Delhi to all over the country, especially during the Asian Games. You will recall how there was, with almost a breakneck speed, the government decided to take the Asian Games to the remotest villages, remotest parts of the country. And that is why people started taking interest. They got more and more involved. And the issues that they used to deal with were touching our personal lives. Earlier, to some extent, newspaper had, in the 50s, 60s, a kind of holier than thou attitude. But for the first time, local politics was catapulted into the mainstream of news. And following this, there has been, yes, we all admit that there has been a phenomenal development of technology. So that what Mr. Sannal had begun with saying that we had only the newspaper, the print, with All India Radio, except for the news, in which people didn't take much interest, except when no politics was involved. And while when I look back to those days, particularly the 70s, we find two things have happened. One of them is, well, media, even communication, is a matter of meeting of two minds, interaction. And what you find today, that today messages move across the world with lightning speed. Yet people living under the same roof cannot always relate to each other. And Shantanu is a widely traveled man. I have traveled in the rural India to some extent, and I have seen that despite all the extension of the media reaching out to the people at all levels, yet socializing in a chowpal, in a village meeting place for an hour, it can tell you more about the world than technology can ever tell. The message is clear. Give more importance to the human context. Give greater stress on the people. And here I recall British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli. He had broken a great news to Queen Victoria in 1876. What is this great news? That for the first time, India was being connected to the Great Britain through telegraph lines. And he said, Your Majesty, I am greatly excited to announce that through a great feat of technology, the electric telegraph lines now links London with the continent of India. And Your Majesty's government is now able to link, communicate directly and promptly with the people of India. Now, the pragmatic queen, she thought over the matter for a while before answering. And then she answered, replied, it was a counter question. She asked Mr. Disraeli, I dare say, Mr. Prime Minister, but what of relevance does my government have to say to my subjects in India? So, clearly, it is not about using or not using technology or reaching how many people. The point rather is to use technology right so that the human progress, the human welfare, the human development is accelerated further. Today,
Right.
it gives me a shock when I learn in a journalism class, students, they do not regard the daily newspaper or even some particular programs on television and radio. They don't regard this any longer as their Bible. And whatever news, they go by the headline. They pick it up from their smartphones. They don't go into the analysis. They don't try to find out. They only want to know what of the news, but why and how and what are its implications, they are not much interested. And this is a very bad sign for the future.
Fine. So people,
Can I-
those who have just, yes,
Can I
yes.
make two observations? One is about
Yes.
this rise of the vernacular papers across the country. There are several reasons for this. One is that the literacy rate is increasing. There is hardly any village in India where there is no school. And once people become literate, the hunger for reading more and knowing more rises. And there is a second part is that the average disposable income of people has increased. I remember in our early days, school days in 60s, we used to have newspapers, and my next door neighbor will come and come in the evening and say, can I read the newspapers? And you must have seen in tea shops, they will buy one newspaper and all others will share it and read it. But now I think in urban areas particularly, lots of people keep more than one newspaper. So they are prepared to spend more on, because people has realized that knowledge is important. They want to bring up their children in a proper education, and for that knowledge is very important. Newspaper is considered one way of, for example, it is a very common knowledge. Shubhita will say that those you read Hindu very well because that helps you to crack IAS and IPS and IFS. That was a common. So that is there. And another observation is that I must tell you that the technology has certainly has its blessings and given many advantages, but it has its darker side also. For example, I remember in my early days in newspapers, ABP, the deadline for a reporter to submit a copy was 1:30 a.m., 1:30 at night. Up to 1:30, they could take copies. After that, it was not possible because press will reject it. But today, the deadline has been advanced up to 10 or 10 p.m. Like technology has advanced, but the deadline has also advanced.
This is the paradox.
This is the paradox. This is very, very, very interesting. So if a communicator, say if a public relations or corporate communication person thinks that at 9 o'clock in the evening, the CEO's wife will inaugurate a flower show and it will be published in the next day's newspaper, forget it.
Well, Mr. Sannal has been talking about he was trying to find out some of the reasons for the change. And one of the points that he had made is the literacy rate. It had increased in the post-77 era. Another important point we must take note of is that since 1977, the political landscape of our country has changed enormously. What we call a regionalization of national politics.
Absolutely.
In those days, whatever Nehru would say, that was final from everybody from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. But in the post-1977, when for the first time Congress had taken a severe beating in the elections, there were rise of the regional parties all over India. And how gradually Congress had started losing its total clutch, its total control over the politics in this country. And regional parties like AGP in Assam, CPMA or the Communist Party or the Left Front in West Bengal, in Hyderabad, there was Telugu Desam Party, and of course in Chennai, in Madras for a long time, it was alternating between AIDMK or DMK. Even in Bihar, there were parties other than Congress. So it was the local interests, local politics, which became the staple part of the common man's life. And they could read the newspapers in their own language. They could read newspapers in Hindi, they could read newspapers in Gujarati, newspapers in Malayalam, Bangla, and as a result, people's involvement with the local politics and the importance of local politics in the political scenario of India also started increasing by leaps and bounds.
Now, there is another thing also, Shubhita, as you correctly said, the regional forces becoming strong. Even look at the political scenario in East, we have BJD, Biju Janata Dal in Odisha, and West Bengal it is Mamata. In South, it is DMK. In Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, again regional parties. And so regional forces are becoming stronger. As a result, they are sending people to the MP as members of parliament in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And since those people, those who are going, their own interest is to look after the interest of their constituency back home, the quality of debate, the national perspective, it has gradually disappeared. It has only
And
become a bickering of the regional issues. Each state is claiming, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm not being given enough importance. So this has become a new phenomena, whether good or bad, I think only time will say. But uh, and the quality of debate has also suffered as a result, because the kind of people now going there in parliament are no match for their predecessors like Ren
they are
Mukherjee.
pygmies compared to the giants we had.
We had, yes, absolutely.
Right.
Uh,
Shubir sir, do you have any more
yes,
comments to share?
yes. Another
Yes.
point is, I would like to share with you the experience of an Australian scholar. He was in India in order to carry out research on the Indian newspaper. He was narrating, in course of his journey, he had met a policeman, a DSP level policeman, and he started talking with him that how the newspapers have impacted their lives. After he said, after thinking over the matter, he said, "Well, gentlemen, newspapers have done one thing. Earlier, if somebody in police uniform used to go to a village, the entire village they will shake with fear. But today, even if I go there with a platoon,
They
they
are
are
not
not
afraid.
afraid to meet us and come to talk to us because they know, because of the reading from the newspapers and from the exposure that they had, they know police is not for beating people.
But in
And
some
this
parts of the
kind of,
country, people will even throw stones at the police.
yes, the colonial environment in which police are, and today how people look at the police is a measure that media had given them enough courage. This change, let us admit, is directly related to the kind of coverage in our papers in the post 77 period.
Another thing is, how as a communicator, as a public relations man, a corporate communicator, how do you handle this complex scenario? My first advice is that you try to understand the media. By understanding the media means understand the composition of the media, understand the way it functions, and also try to understand the challenges facing the media or the people working in the media. I remember one story I'll say. Many years ago, when I was cutting my teeth in journalism, I was sent to cover a seminar in Grand Hotel that how to develop entrepreneurship in West Bengal. Most of the speakers, the burden of the song of the most of the speaker was the same, that the Bengalis are averse to taking risks. That's why they don't have any business. They don't succeed in business. A Gujarati gentleman, he was a very top boss in a tea company. He stood up and said, I don't agree. Why? He said the Bengalis have always taken the maximum risk, the risk of life. You look at the freedom movement. If you go to a cellular jail, you will see the largest number of internees are from Bengal. And also see the Naxalite movement. The bright students said left their reputed colleges only for sacrifice their lives or career for an ideology. Then what is the reason? He said the one major reason what he felt is right is that a Bengali will venture into a business without knowing anything about the business. He said, if I invest in the stock market, I will first study the market for 2 years, how it behaves. What is only then I'll put my money. But Bengali gentleman, but it is also true, he said, his history is replete with instances of successful businessmen like business houses like Bengal Chemical, Bengal Immunity, Bengal Enamel, Bengal Waterproof, Bengal Pottery, and there are lots of them, all set up by the
List of
Bengalis, and they are
companies.
very
Yeah,
successful. Okay,
right.
so
So,
the understanding the media, the complexity of the media is very, very essential for the communicators of today.
right. So people say that the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. So I'm sure viewers of Turiya Talks must have heard a lot, which they have not read in their books, because these are few golden experiences. I'll not say words. Right. Before we end the show, I would like to ask my guests what is their view on Turiya Talks and Turiya Communications, please.
Turiya Communications, I think it's not even 2 years now. If I'm not wrong, the company has been launched, but I believe they have already made a mark in branding, in digital marketing, and also in specialized peer. I wish them all success in coming years. I hope they will scale newer heights in the coming years.
Right. Sir, please.
Well, I pray and I fervently wish let Courier Communication live up to its name. Let its messages go from one person to another so that the thoughts that they garner they are spread all over the country.
Right.
I
So
wish
this
it a
episode
success.
with both my seniors and colleagues and what do I say? I will not say guide. I think I'll call them Shakespeare's North Stars. That is very important because they have not been just guiding their present students, but rather they have been suggesting people what they should do in their career path. And I believe that if people do watch it again and again, they will find it very, very insightful and knowledgeable. And we are very thankful that you took out time from your busy schedule to speak with us today. And we hope our viewers enjoyed today's show and learned a lot about on this topic, mass communication, real world. Please share your opinion on Turiya Talk, the points we can improve on, and how was your experience here. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope we meet again in the next episode next Friday. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All of you. Thank you.